If you're a professional salesperson, aka life insurance agent, and you're thinking, man, I would love to be in the position where I could literally just sell more life insurance than pretty much anybody, which means helping more people and making six figures, and that's who we're talking to, people that are interested in earning $150, maybe over $200,000 a year, then guys, this video is absolutely for you. Let's start with giving the video a thumbs up. We do suggest subscribing if you're new to the channel. We're all about life insurance sales and insurance sales training videos, so you definitely want to be a subscriber. Guys, the three things that I am going to address today. Number one are the activities, and I want to say the level of activities that need to be done to produce at a high level, and that's what we're talking about today. We're going to get into the presentation and basically making a solid presentation, and we're going to talk about investment and ROI, return on investment. How much should you make based on the amount of money that you're actually investing into your advertising and or your leads? And guys, stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to get a copy of our general telesales presentation script, along with the telesales objections and deflections cheat sheet. Both of these are going to be great if you're selling any type of life insurance product over the phone. So let's start with the activities and the level of activities. So if you do the math, there's 168 hours in a week. So I'm bringing that up because I'm going to tell you, you really need to put in, if you want to make this type of money, the first couple of years, you need to put in at least 8 to 10 hour days, at least 5 days a week. So really all I'm asking for is, let's say a minimum of 40, 45, no, let's ask for a minimum of 50 hours. So I'm not even asking for 1/3 of your week. You think about it, 50 hours. It's not even 1/3 of 168 hours. And I'm mentioning this because I feel like one of the biggest fails with life insurance agents is they just don't put in enough time. So putting in enough time to get by is completely different than putting in the time that it needs to make the kind of money that we're talking about today. And with that being said, you have to kind of accept that, especially when you're new at this business, and when I say new, maybe even in the first year or two, it's a grind. You know, you're spending those 8 to 10 hours dialing to get in those presentations. You want to get in a handful of presentations a day. That's the objective. So in order for you to do that, and then to make the kind of money in the sales that we're talking about, you really need to be able to close at least 1 out of 3 of your full presentations. To me, that's realistic. 25%, you're going to have to spend extra money to get extra leads. You're basically spending thousands of dollars a week just to get similar results as a top producer would get. So honestly, you want to get to that point to where you're at least closing 1/3. Now, the pros, the people that are doing this, that have been doing this for years, the ones that are making the 6 figures, I would have to say most of them are closing more than half of their entire sales presentation. So if they make 4 presentations today, they're closing 2. They're getting 2 sales from it, which leads us to that sales presentation. So there's really like 5 things that has to be done during your sales presentation. So number 1, you got to build a lot of rapport. You have to spend time building the rapport. If you're using a script like the one that our agents use at my agency, and unfortunately it's not the same script as the one that we give away for watching the video, but if you're like using a really good script, it's going to basically guide you through that. It's going to help you to build rapport. And one of the big fails, since I'm on that and on the script, is I feel like, and I saw an agency recently talking about how they're telling their agents, hey, you want to be closing in the first 10, 15 minutes. Man, if you're closing in the first 10, 15 minutes, you are not building enough rapport. These people aren't going to buy from you. So to me, the sweet spot is probably closer to 30 minutes. So we're in the presentation, 30 minutes into the presentation, and that's when I recommend closing. That's when you want to go for the close. The second thing is value. You've got to bring value to the prospect. They're not going to buy if they don't see a value, if they don't see a deal. If you're not careful, and this is a fail that a lot of agents do, and it depends on the presentation you're using also, right? Is a lot of agents kind of come off as being just another agent. And so I feel like that's the fail, because If you're just another agent, just selling another life insurance product, then what happens is the client's going to think, well, I can get this anywhere. And they're probably right. So you have to bring huge value. What I do in my presentation is really, there's a couple of different points. Early in the presentation, we talk about the product, presentation, right? So we get into the carrier, we get into the insurance, we get into the riders, like a bunch of information like that. But then we do it again once the prospect gives a simple objection or an excuse not to pull the trigger. Then what we do is we go back to that product presentation. So the whole idea is, remember, you got to have super amounts of value, which really leads us to number 3, overcoming objections. And that's what we do by doing it that way, is we've got a system for overcoming objections. You should have this too. You should have your canned system of overcoming objections that you know works. Now, by having this and by knowing that it works, you're not sweating it. They're all lay down sales. You're not sitting there going, geez, I hope this client buys. I hope they're a lay down. I hope they don't give me any objections. You're not doing that because you know, like with ours, we expect the objection, then we build more value. And then we simply, by bringing that value in and building it, we inadvertently end up coming back to reclose and overcome the objection. And number 4, we're overcoming the objections up front too. So, we're not just doing it there, but like I said, we're doing it early, bringing the value part to the process, to the client, to the whole deal. Number 5, you've got to start the relationship building process in the sale. So when you're doing your sales presentation, what you're inadvertently doing is you're beginning a relationship with these folks. So there's several parts. There should be at least 3 to 4 points during your presentation where you're actually getting familiar with the client and they're getting familiar with you. So like with final expense, one of the things we do is we want to get the client to not only talk about their family, right, in the rapport building, but to talk about if there was a recent death, to talk about why we're considering buying the insurance. We want to do these 3 things because through this process, we're getting to know them. And meanwhile, we're sharing our stories with them. We're sharing our family experience. We're sharing our funeral experience or recent death experience. And by doing that, there's an exchange, and that's how you start the relationship process. Of course, at the end of the sale, the last thing we do, one of the things I do is we call it a cool down. Because in my presentation script, there's a cool down, right? You close the sale, you do the cool down, but then you do the cool down. Basically, you're just talking about anything but insurance for like 5 to 10 minutes. In the end, you're letting them know, hey, you mentioned that you like to go fishing. What do you got going on this week? You're going to go out and, throw the line out there. So you're just talking about anything afterwards. This is super important because now it kind of lets them know that you're just a normal person. Yeah, you're a professional salesperson. Yeah, you're the person they want for their life insurance. But guess what? You're just a normal person too. You're not some schmuck that's there just to get them to spend money. That's the last thing that you want them to think about you. All right, let's talk about investment and return on investment. So the one thing that I like about life insurance sales is what we're doing by selling these products financially for us, our part financially, is that we're basically buying money. And the idea is for me to spend $1 to make $2 to $3. And that's the key, or really to turn $1 into at least $2 to $3. Now, the better agents, the ones that are really talented, those agents that close over 50%, they're able to do this at a higher level. So here's the way I look at it. Really, the idea is for you to be comfortable enough with what you're doing, where you are spending maybe $1,500 a week to up to $3,000 a week. Guys, again, we're talking about top producers. We're talking about people that expect to make a couple $100,000. So don't give me that look, okay? Yeah, I'm talking about producers. That's what producers do. They spend this kind of money, and they're basically taking their $1,500 to $3,000, and that they're turning it into $3,000 to $5,000, and that's it. So at the beginning of the week, they start with, for example, maybe $2,000, and then at the end of the week, they got $4,000 to $5,000. That's what we're doing. We're buying money by the way that we sell. And the fail is, I feel like most agents that just flat out fail, they fail because they don't have enough money to invest into their insurance business right from the start. To me, I feel like, okay, here I'll give you an example. When I first got into life insurance sales, I didn't know anything, so I didn't realize what it was going to take. But then after I was in life insurance sales for years, and then I started selling final expense the first time back in, so we're talking back in like 2012, 2013 is when we started fiddling with it. I knew I needed money to invest because I knew if this is the route we're going to go, I'm going to need at least a few $1,000s. So that is really the minimum. If you're going to be an insurance agent and you expect to earn a good living, you need that. If you kind of don't, you're not sure, which is the way it was when I first got licensed, when I first got recruited. Look, anything can happen. You can end up going in any direction. So again, that's why this video is kind of for people that expect to earn the big bucks. Really, I'll give you a good example. So like my business partner, my colleague, when he first got into life insurance and found me, he had thousands of dollars put aside. He had already invested. He was like, yes, he actually had it all down. He was like, well, here's how much I invested so far. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. You got it down to the penny. And so he's like, it's okay. I've got another $20,000 set aside to make this happen. He didn't need that. His mindset was so right that literally a few $1,000s more and he was making bank. It was coming back 3-4 fold, just the way it's supposed to come back. So do you need $10,000 to get started? No. But realistically, if you really expect to have a decent living, to earn, a couple $100,000, I would say at least maybe 3,000 the minimum. You're already talented, you can sell at least 3,000. If you're not, having a little bit more of a cushion is better, of course. Not everybody has this. I understand that, but again, we're talking about the top producers making a couple $100,000 a year. Hopefully you got something out of the video. If you'd like a copy of the tele presentation script and the objections and deflections cheat sheet, both of these are for selling life insurance products over the phone. Just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us on our telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get that headset on, and whatever happens, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.